Hello and welcome to Fresh Face Comics, the comic book podcast, our lifelong comic book reader guides us friend through the world of comics for the first time. My name is Joey Morgan, the aforementioned lifelong reader. With me as always is Jacob Licklider, the aforementioned newbie.
Blonde Tony Stark just feels wrong on a visceral level.
You are 1000% correct. Joining us today to continue our talk about Iron Man, or we're talking about Iron Man Execute program today, continuing on from last time with Extremis, we have returning guest Mason.
My house was destroyed by the Vesuvius.
You are fucking diseased. You're diseased, Mason. Sorry. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. We're continuing our Marvel block today with Iron Man Execute program. We have one more Marvel episode coming up next time, and then we're back to some DC in the countdown to episode 100. It's amazing. It's a great feeling. I'm so excited. So, be on the lookout for so many exciting things coming up. I'm planning out more guests, and it's exciting. I can't wait. So,
I was going to say I've had a couple of people who've been like, I've been dealing with at least one person who was like, there's a thing I'd like to guest on, but I have no idea when you're doing it.
Who is this?
Kian wants to guest on something. I'll DM you.
Okay. DM me that. DM me that, Jacob.
I'll quickly tell. I'll just he wants to guest on.
Sure.
It's one I wouldn't be surprised if it's on the schedule somewhere.
We have plans. There are things happening. Anyway, continuing with Iron Man Execute program. Obviously, we went through history with Iron Man last time. If you didn't check out the last episode, check out the last episode. Go ahead and do that. I guess I'll toss it over to our guest, because I love tossing it over to guests, and I love when Mason does this. Mason, what is Iron Man Execute program about?
So, this is a fairly direct narrative follow-up to Extremis. Can I do Extremis spoilers in this section, or because it?
You could openly talk about Extremis. Yeah.
Okay, word. So after the sort of effects of Tony Stark injecting himself with Extremis and thus being able to mold more with his Iron Man suit. This story sort of directly goes into what the effects of those might look like, and some of the good things, some of the very bad things. And all of this is joined together with a mysterious individual who is causing intense destruction all around the world, as well as some simmering antagonistic feelings towards Iron Man with some of the other superheroes in his universe, and all leading to some weird event that I don't know of.
It's true.
Yeah, there's definitely not a giant event coming immediately after this that you can
nothing
see.
Happening. Everything's normal here. Everything's normal.
That wasn't plastered all over the covers of these issues when they're in single release form.
But hey, it's so fucking wild that they wouldn't put it on the covers in the collected edition. Because surely you'd want people to know that, right? Surely you could use this as an advertisement for your other books. Or if people are only interested in Civil War, they could see this book that says Road to Civil War and be like, wow, I want to read this because I'm interested in Civil War, etc., etc.
I mean, here's the thing, Joey. If you look at the ads in the trade collection, you want to know what they don't advertise?
Civil fucking War. I'm looking at them right now.
What they do advertise is the Ultimate Universe, aka the one Ultimate Spider-Man being the one thing that was selling hotcakes.
You know what's fucking wild is what's wild is the same shit is happening with DC right now. In all of their regular books, they're read the absolute stuff because that's what everyone's buying, and it is what it is. They're also advertising Demon in a Bottle on the inside of the trade. So yeah. What's up, Mason?
I do have a question about this. Is the Road to Civil War something that happened retroactively, or was it an actual thing that people were putting on these comics as they were coming out?
Oh no. That was an actual advertising push for the upcoming event. Yeah, no, that was actually on all the original covers. Yep.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. So it was on the original covers of
it's not in the trade. Yeah. So yeah,
what
you're reading right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not much to talk about here that isn't spoilery.
I mean, I'll say it's. What's interesting is that as a story, it's better than Extremis in a lot of ways, but it still has a lot of problems. Especially weirdly enough, last two issues.
Why, Jacob? Who's in them? No, sorry, he's not the last two. Sorry, he's in the middle two.
That's also a different problem, but I was talking more structurally about the fact that Civil War is coming, And
oh my god, wait, that's him? Wait, from
Wait.
that one other thing that I did?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
wait, did you not
fucking God, I
realize
didn't even-
that
No!
character?
You don't remember the rants about
Nope,
that
I
character?
didn't realize. I didn't realize. Sorry, that was
you know what's
entirely me.
amazing?
That character who is now featured in a major Marvel Cinematic Universe
It's
film.
true. A movie that is apparently a banger, and I still haven't seen. So
So yeah,
fair enough.
I mean, I'm not gonna. You know what? I'm gonna just stick to my guns and say that character is still a bad character. Like,
I agree.
like,
Also, actually, this is not spoilery as well. We have a different creative team on this. We have Daniel. So there's that. Thoughts on them as a different creative team compared to Extremis?
Well, okay.
You
I
go
think
first.
we've read something with with Patrick Zurcher doing pencils before. I think
We've read so many comics, Jacob. I can't.
we've read a lot.
remember.
It's hard. It's definitely more traditional.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Very, and I think that helps mean that this book is going to get out on time, because I hate to say it, my conspiracy theory is Ellis and Granov were not getting the book in on time, and it's like, well,
What, that thing we spent the entirety of the last episode focusing on?
I have a feeling they were fired. They were fired, and it's like, well,
I mean,
we
you
need to...
still have Granov covers throughout this, so
Fine, they were fired from interiors. Granov can still do the covers. And very much it's like, no, we need a team who can get 6 issues in and make this a prequel to Civil War. Though I've got this sneaking suspicion that because Civil War is written by one Mark Millar, nobody actually knows what the hell Civil War is going to be.
oh, you're
Until
so right,
it
Jacob.
started
You have no
happening.
idea how right you are when you say shit like that. I'm so excited to
Oh!
talk about it next time.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm preparing, Joey. I'm preparing for the worst. I'm preparing for this.
Okay,
Like,
I'm at the time of recording. I'm almost at the end of my reread for Civil War. To be honest, I didn't hate the first 2 issues as much as I remembered. But then after that, there's a pretty steep decline in quality.
Here's the thing. There's a point where this book falls into being a crossover book. Like,
Mhm.
there's a lot of characters in this book. Some of them I recognize. One of them I didn't. One of them I knew, but also didn't recognize because he's in a different costume.
Mhm.
And I think there's some struggle to really juggle that, because it's like, Lucanovs clearly want to write a story that is personal for Tony Stark and continuing his journey post-Extremis.
Mhm.
But we've got an event coming.
Mhm.
An event where, let's be honest, it's going to try to both sides an issue that, let's be honest, I don't think you can really both sides. Like,
That is an interesting point for a comic you have not read. I'll say you're not.
This is-
I'll say you're not entirely right about that.
okay, well, listen, and here's the thing. I don't think, for the little I know of Mark Millar, which is not a lot, I may be going with some preconceived notions.
As a Grant Morrison fan,
As a Grant Morrison fan.
Mason, I know we brought this up a couple times in the podcast, but I don't think we've ever brought it up with you. Are you aware of the man that is Mark Millar, Mason?
No, not
So
at
he's
all.
he's the writer of Civil War. But are you aware of what we have talked about? How we have talked about him in relation to Grant Morrison?
Not specifically, no, I don't think so.
There's a famous quote when somebody asked Grant Morrison about
Since
Mark
Mark Millar lives in Glasgow.
No, they're talking about Mark Millar, and the interviewer is like, oh, he lives in Glasgow. Do you think you'll run into him? And Grant Morrison goes, there's a very good chance of running into him, and I hope I'm going 100 miles an hour when it happens.
Oh, hell yeah.
Millar is a controversial writer, shall we say.
Here's the thing,
find out
not the good kind of controversial, because Grant Morrison can be controversial as well.
Yes,
in a
but
very
Morrison
different
Morrison at least has things to. Well, I don't want to say Millar doesn't have things to say. Has interesting things to say.
I love it. But
Interesting.
yeah. Shall we get into some Blue Sky questions?
Yeah, let's get into some questions.
Let's get it out of the way.
Cool.
From Jamie at Jamie-season7 says War Machine ? And I really do love this one. It's a picture of a war machine from Doctor Who: The War Machine. It's pretty good. War Machine is not in this book, but sure, I'll take it.
Honestly, let's be honest. There are barely any like Iron Man supporting characters in this book.
Yeah, it's mostly about the
really
Avengers
aren't,
because it's mostly about the Avengers because there's again an event coming up. Our friend Andrew at Andrew Doing Art says Repulsor Ray ? With a picture of Timothy Dalton as Rassilon in Doctor Who's The End of Time with a blue glowing glove. I'm guessing that that Andrew is implying is similar to Iron Man's repulsor rays that he uses to fly. So there's that.
And I think Kian's definitely used this character before.
I think so, but I really do like this one. Kian at Kian the Quark says Crimson Dynamo. It's a picture of
King Hydraflax from the Husbands of River Song.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. That was good.
In a big old red suit. You love to see it. So that's the bit. It never gets any better.
I love it. Keep it going.
Andrew also says, are there any particular Iron Man runs that you plan on reading next? You're asking the person that makes the schedule, this Andrew. So, yes, the answer is yes.
This doesn't count. Here's the thing. I don't even count this as like a run proper because it's one story. Like, it's
realistically, Extremis and this are just the road to Civil War. And I wanted to. Here's the thing. So I don't know if you realize this, Jacob, but I planned this out exactly how I planned out one of our early DC blocks, actually. With the Justice League Aquaman and the and the crossover with Throne of Atlantis. So I wanted to do a similar thing. So that's why this is here as it is. I do know exactly what Iron Man we're doing next. I will not say what it is.
Is it continuing this era, or are we going to a different era?
So the thing that is interesting about this is that there are two separate Iron Man books you can follow to continue the post-Civil War Iron Man stuff. And that was certainly part of the consideration for the next Iron Man run we do. But there are two Iron Man books. One is Iron Man by Matt Fraction. The other is Iron Man, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what we're doing going forward when that eventually comes about.
I was going to say probably in the massive Marvel block post episode 100. If I had to guess.
Lots of fun. Andrew also says, would you rather have read just this volume of Iron Man and nothing else for your whole life, or read nothing but comics written by Stan Lee for the next 10 years?
Here's the thing. There was a response to this that I think you need to read.
Yeah. So our friend Rachel at Chelsea Shells says both of these opinions are cruel and unusual. LOL.
Except no. I disagree. Stan Lee at least is an interesting writer to dissect. Like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even like this is a bad book. We like Execute Program. But also, here's the thing. Just saying comics written by Stan Lee is really understating it. There's so much Stan Lee out there.
The man wrote a lot.
Even and when people think Stan Lee, they think 60s Spider-Man, Avengers, Thor, etc. But there's modern Stan Lee.
Yeah, he wrote stuff for DC in
Earth,
the
whatever
90s,
it was,
early 2000s.
Yeah, something like that.
The just imagine Stan Lee creating the DC universe,
yeah. So honestly, Stan Lee is pretty much the easy answer there. So
I would agree. Yeah.
Our friend Jamie continues to say, is Sentry in this? If not, why? Why is he not in every comic? Is it a spoiler to say if he is or isn't? I can't.
I'm gonna say it. Sentry's in this.
Sentry's in this. It's just as pointless and superfluous as his appearance in the whole comics we've read.
If not more so,
Yeah.
Sentry just had to be part of everything, I suppose. And it's just the way it is.
Why did Marvel not understand how to do any sort of commentary on Superman in the early 2000s?
But he's strongman. He big strongman, Jacob. That means he's Superman.
Is he really though?
No.
Yes.
The answer is no.
No. The answer is yes. It's yes.
No, it's not.
Yes.
Our friend Rachel then says, if you had to send an oh god, I hate the way this is worded. I have to say this out loud. If you had to send an Execute program.
If you had to send an Execute program.
Yes. Would it be a computer program or a theater program? Theater. Everyone needs some more theater in their lives.
Depends on the X.
Yeah. I would agree with that. It depends on the X.
That's theater, no matter what.
I've thought like all of my relationships haven't ended terribly is the thing. So I'm like, it might be just a theater program, but like a nice.
But
theater
also
program.
there are some really cool computer programs out there that you can send people, and I suppose that could be that. Yeah. Also, just minor question. I'm not cutting this. Can you guys hear the music outside when I talk?
No,
Okay,
No.
well, that's good at least.
I'm not hearing anything.
Well, that's good at least. We'll see how long that stays controllable. Rachel also says, "Oh, so
Oh no, I was going to say, and hey, if you want some more of that behind the scenes stuff that we're not cutting, go give these people money and get B-roll for this fucking
it's
episode.
true. Yeah, totally.
At some point, I don't know if that has launched at this
that
point.
may or may not be launched at this point, but yeah, we're launching some stuff on the Patreon that might be there by this point. I can't confirm or deny.
Oh shit! I did not mean to preemptively announce that. I am sorry.
Be on the lookout on what is by now rebranded as the Blood Donut Studios Patreon. So there's that.
Everything I said was a slash J.
Rachel also says, how do you feel about the mind-controlled hero trope generally? How do you feel about its execution here? Has Rachel read this comic, I wonder?
You know, it's possible.
I saw that question and I was like, ooh, Rachel. Now here's Jacob. I haven't told you about any of this. Has Rachel been talking to you about what she's been reading recently at all?
No, she hasn't.
Jacob, you ready for this?
What has Rachel been reading? Yeah, what the fuck is
Rachel has read almost the entirety of Preacher and loved it.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Nice.
It is.
Hell yeah.
I've been talking to Rachel a lot recently because she read almost the entirety of Preacher within.
Okay, so you're getting Rachel on as a guest at some point soon. Again,
totally,
right?
totally,
like,
yeah, totally. I would love to talk Preacher with her and you.
No, get her on Preacher book 2 for sure. Like
totally, yeah.
Yeah. God.
She's also been reading like almost everything. I think the goal is just to read everything we've ever covered on the podcast at some point. Which
I did think she said that a couple months ago.
Yeah,
she was going to try to, and I remember replying like, you can just skip the Dark Knight Strikes Again. You do not have to put yourself through that. Like
Rachel, you're a fucking real one. Her last question says, and Mason, can you tell Joey and Jacob about the Wings song that mentions one of the villains? LOL. I don't know.
Wait, we didn't actually answer the question about mind control.
Oh yeah, sorry. The mind controlled hero trope.
I had a take.
Sorry. Say your take.
Like any trope, it can be used effectively and well. I do think with a trope, it's one of those tropes that's very easy to fuck up, mainly because it often oscillates way too much in having the character act out of character. I don't think that actually happens here. I think here it's used in an interesting way.
I really like the way this story does this one.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting way because a lot of the actions of Tony Stark are in this book are things where it's like I could see Tony Stark doing this, mainly because the Marvel universe is the universe where superheroes can just and will just kill people. Like, yeah,
we're like Marvel heroes can like reasonably be horrible depending on the hero. Like, I don't know. It's a lot more malleable. Also because there are so many Marvel heroes, and you don't have like I mean, other than Spider-Man, there are not like definitive pillars of Marvel like there are with DC.
I was gonna say there's maybe 2.
Yeah,
Spider-Man and the X-Men.
Yeah.
And maybe Fantastic Four.
And even then, the X-Men are so fucking malleable. You can anyone's definitive X-Men could be so different from anyone else's.
Though usually, if we're talking in a pop culture sense, it's Wolverine. It's always been Wolverine.
Yeah,
people like Hugh Jackman.
Huge jacked man. Yeah,
that too.
It's right out of my mouth.
Yeah. Anyway, Mason, what's this Wings song about?
Yeah, so there's a song from their that would be their 4th studio album called Magneto and Titanium Man.
Oh, seriously?
Yes, there is.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Wait, hang on. Sorry, Paul McCartney singing about Magneto just it's breaking my brain.
No, yeah, and quite literally the origin of the song is I like comics.
That's fucking wild.
That's the origin. And but yeah, the
oh god, Paul McCartney was already my favorite Beatle before you said this, and I love this even more.
Yes, it's a pretty dang good song because like this is of the era of like very 70s rock, and the album before this, Band on the Run, this one Venus and Mars, and the next one Wings at the Speed of Sound is just a good trilogy of albums. I recommend them. But the villain mentioned is Crimson Dynamo.
That's crazy. Oh my god. Last time, after we were finished recording the last episode, I ended up showing these guys a bunch of Silver Age Iron Man comics I have. Did I ever show you guys the original Crimson Dynamo? I might have.
I think you did.
Yes.
Am I doing it in there? I don't know. I love his weird original design. It's kind of fun. That's crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's good.
That's cool as fuck. I didn't know there was a Paul McCartney song that had the word Magneto in it. That's awesome.
Fantastic.
And Crimson Dynamo. And just I didn't know Paul McCartney liked Marvel Comics. Cool.
Yeah.
How
Hell
about
yeah.
that? All right. We have another set of questions from this guy Mason Peters at the GD 256.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't he die?
There was a strange message last time from this guy from our Extremis episode. That was something along the lines of like you being the last one. I think Mason wasn't that right?
I mean, I remember it was weird. Like,
yeah. So
yeah.
This is even weirder. So there are no questions written out here. There's just a screenshot. It looks to be like a notepad kind of thing on your phone. It says the following is the last will and testament of one Mason Peters. It is a list of questions addressed to the loving people of Fresh Face Comics. Read between the lines and please act accordingly. If you are listening to this episode, please report to the Blue Sky in order to accurately understand what you must do.
If I may just jump in really, really quickly with one moment. I didn't notice the entire paragraph before the questions for whatever reason.
Jacob, you fool. You fool.
Okay, wait. Hang on.
So before I start, before when this was submitted, I didn't put the message together. I'm going to do this in real time on the episode. I have a paper in front of me and a pen. I'm going to write out the capital letters as they go through.
Yeah.
So throughout these questions, I can see that there are capital letters randomly inserted throughout. And I imagine they spell out some kind of word, some kind of message. But we'll go through the questions one by one. Number one, transhumanism from Extremis is a big theme in this story. Do you think it's explored well here, Jacob? Jacob?
I think it's explained. It could be a little deeper.
Okay.
I think there is some I think part of the problem is the conflict of the Canucks clearly do want to pick up what Ellis was putting down.
Mm-hmm.
However, there's an event coming.
Jacob, I want to count how many times you say that throughout this episode.
There is an event coming.
It's going to come up a lot.
I'm just realizing what this message says.
I'm not. Hang on.
Don't worry. Give it time. So in this first message, the letters R, E, A, and D are capitalized. So read, I think, is our first word. Mason, what is your response to this question from this guy?
I guess, it's an interesting question because excuse me, I'm talking. Transhumanism is sorry. I definitely think that transhumanism is definitely better explored in this one than it was in the last one. I would agree with Jacob. It's definitely it could have been maybe a bit more explored, but I do think that considering everything they had to balance, I think that what it goes into is interesting, and the question of how much of you is still you is something that is at least touched on, which I do enjoy how it is touched on, and the moments of almost crisis that occur because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The second question says, do you think Tony Stark uses a condom, or did Extremis render him shooting blanks? The response? Cool.
I'm not dignifying that, no.
The letters in this message are...
he was weak.
Capitalized are ANNIHILA. Third question, how does this story compare to the previous volume? Does it feel like a direct continuation?
Yeah, it does. It's a Mason, I think you're just adding these things so you can get the bit out, and
what are you talking
about?
And I
applaud you for it.
What do you mean?
Jacob, this isn't the guy that we have on the podcast right now. This is from a guy called Mason Peters.
No, I'm the GD256. Thank you very much.
Well, I thought this was the GD256 because his at on Blue Sky is at the GD256.
Oh, what the fuck? He stole my name too? Jesus Christ.
God!
Yeah, I think so, Mason. So the letters capitalized in this third one are Tion. So what we seem to have so far is the message "Read Annihilation,"
Which I
And that-
believe
and-
Joey has that on the schedule somewhere, because it is a pretty famous Marvel event.
and now that I'm looking at the rest of this, I don't think any other letters are capitalized. So Mason, any idea what this message "Read Annihilation" means?
I don't know. It might be a comment on like the idea of annihilation is this concept of like total absolute destruction, where like every atom is meant to be like completely eradicated. So like if one is meant to read annihilation, I don't entirely understand, because like read is the act of like gaining information from like a book or a source or something, whereas annihilation is the total destruction of matter. So maybe we're meant to learn about the absolute destruction. I know that there's this weird sci-fi book by Jeff Vandermeer that I've heard is pretty good. Maybe it's that, but like, I don't know. There's a lot of different, like, I guess, interpretations you could have of this.
Most
It's
fascinating.
clearly trying to get us to read Keith Giffen's Marvel miniseries Annihilation.
Fascinating.
Oh, you know what? That would make the most sense, probably.
Yeah, I mean, this is a questionnaire about Marvel comics, as you know.
Yeah.
So I think that would make the most sense.
Wait, no, I'm not
God.
gonna make that joke. That's too mean. I was gonna make no one's heard of this Jeff Vandermeer.
No, this fucking. I mean, you just made the joke. I
Yes,
like how
you did,
in
yeah.
saying that you weren't going to make
I
the
also-
joke, you said the joke.
I also said in our Batgirl episode that Gail Simone isn't a good writer, which is a joke, of course, but I did still say it out loud. So
That's even more dangerous than what I just said.
it's true. Yeah, she might actually come after me. She follows me on Blue Sky. So
Oh God.
yeah. This guy's fourth question says, "Does this excite you for what is to come in Civil War? The Marvel
Nope!
one, not the actual American one."
Nope. I can see the cracks in the setup for Civil War are already showing.
Last time I checked, guns were meant to be registered. What a fucking line! Like he actually says that in the comic. Like what? Like
It is a very yeah. Just the
Yeah.
placement
Dude,
of the
I have
line in
so
the
many
comic
notes
is
on
very
just
funny.
the ending of the last issue. Like,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
I love it.
The
It's
final
really-
question says, "Can you hear me?"
Yeah.
yeah.
What are you hanging out?
Sorry. The final question says, and I quote, "Can you hear me?"
Well, we can't hear whoever's actually asking the question if it's not Joey, because we can't hear Joey. So,
Yeah,
Mason,
I don't know. Maybe
Mason, this
What?
bit is ridiculous. This bit is just getting
Mason-
more ridiculous.
Mason, is this other version of you okay?
Well, I mean, I thought they died. Like, are
Yeah,
they trying
so-
to communicate
so-
from the afterlife?
So who is this Blue Sky question coming from then? Like
I don't
clearly,
know.
someone had to submit the screenshot.
Well, yeah, but it's like I don't know. Maybe God, you know, it's almost like there's a weird there's like a weird tumor in my head that's like controlling my actions and like causing me to lose memories while I do things.
Wait, so did
But, like-
so did you submit this screenshot, Mason?
If I did, I don't. Wait, hold on. Let me open
Mason-
my notes app real quick. Wait,
Mason-
hold on.
Oh
It
no!
might be here.
Oh god, Jacob, what's about to happen?
Oh fuck! It's here. It's
Mason,
written out.
you're the GD 256.
Wait, I'm dead?
gonna have. God, I
Mason,
have a second
Mason,
guest
Mason,
coming on next time.
Mason,
I'm gonna
how-
prep them
Mason,
for this bullshit.
Mason, Jacob, shut up. Mason, how are we ever going to solve such a problem like this?
I
I
don't
guess
know.
I guess the listeners will just have to tune in next time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure we'll have it figured out by then. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I'll put this
Yeah,
paper
for
away.
sure, for sure.
I'm sure this message will mean nothing for next time. All right. Rachel
Cool.
also replied to that screenshot and said that last one is one of my favorite Doctor Who episodes. And you said, this other Mason, or no, I guess we now know it is you. You said yes, that is one of my faves.
Yeah.
Is Can You Hear Me one of your favorite Doctor Who episodes?
I mean, it's pretty good. It's probably like my favorite of the. It's one of my favorites of that specific era.
I do like it a lot.
I like 90% of it.
I like most of it. It's good.
There is one scene, and it's the scene that gets all the criticism. So, yeah.
I don't mind that scene honestly, but anyway.
I have some issues. One of these days, I'm going to go into my big here's. One of these days, I'm going to write out reviews for the new Who stuff I haven't reviewed already in writing. Yeah.
Anyway, we do have now, welcome to Fresh Faced Correspondence. This is where we respond to messages coming to us from Spotify comments, YouTube comments, anywhere that you comment on things. Today, all of our messages are from Spotify comments that I'm very excited to share with you all today. First up from our friend Marcus says, can I just say how bugged I am that Iron Man 3 went with Extremis and Aldrich for their pronunciations? Even now, years later, Extremis and Aldrich just roll off the tongue easier. I agree with Extremis, but I think Aldrich does make sense because I've heard Aldrich in other settings, and I think that just it sounds right to me. Personally,
it annoys me more that it turns out that the villain of Iron Man 3 is like
the Mandarin.
No, that he is a mashup of like 6 different comic book characters.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it's like,
yeah.
stick with one.
Oh yeah. Part of that the Silver Age panels I was showing you guys. I showed you guys the original Mandarin last time, which was a mistake. Yeah. Our friend Jamie then, and I love this comment so much. Jamie says, "Can you lock Mason in a room and make him a full-time guest?" Jamie, you have no idea how much I would love to.
Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Look, here's the thing: if we ever got a third co-host,
it would be Mason. It would be
it would
Mason.
probably be Mason.
1,000%. I think I said this to you before Jacob. Even without Mason in our presence, like I would love to have Mason on just almost full time. Like it would be awesome.
Of course, it's the problem of that would create the madness that is trying to do schedules around 3 people consistently.
100%, yeah.
However, here's the thing. All of the guests that we have had, I would have back in a heartbeat as well.
Absolutely.
So, if you are listening to this and you've got a guest and you have like a character you want to be featured on that you have a passion for, or a particular story, DM myself or Joey on Blue Sky, or
as long as you know us personally. As long as you know us personally.
I did prefaces with if you have had a guest. If you'd like to make potential recommendations, we'll also take them, but we make no promises on getting them because Joey has a schedule way far in advance.
I plan things the way I do for a reason. Actually, can I go on this rant now? So remember when you guys forced me to split the next block of Marvel episodes into halves, 5 and 5?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So remember in our World War Hulk episode when you guys complained that you didn't know half these characters? Wouldn't that be so much cooler if you guys had read, say, like a bunch of other Marvel comics like these and Civil War beforehand when you knew all those characters, who all those characters were? Then you read World War Hulk and were like, wow, I understand what they're all going through right now. Wouldn't that be cool?
Nah.
I mean, look, there's still some characters in this that I don't know. Like,
that's fair. You didn't know who Spider-Man was at first.
Yeah.
You didn't know who Spider-Man was at first.
That is true. This is true.
Yeah, it definitely has the thing of like, oh, you're in that outfit. I guess we're in this era, or like, oh, there's this character.
Oh no,
okay,
I didn't recognize the outfit at first. I was like, wait, hang on.
Yeah.
I recognized the outfit, but it was just like all right, cool.
Yeah. Last bit of fresh-faced correspondence from our friend Rachel, who we talked about multiple times on this episode already, said, Jacob, you should release your inner beast and darkness. I forget what that's referring to, honestly.
What? That was me. I did that.
What was that? I forget.
I told everyone in the comments to like persuade Jacob to release his inner beast and
that's right.
I forgot about that.
By the way, these are all comments on our Extremis episode. If you want to comment on past episodes, I'll talk about past episode comments as well. So go right ahead.
Yeah, just I was gonna, does Spotify? I'm guessing Spotify gives you a notification when someone comments.
Yeah, when I get a new comment. Yep. Yeah. Rachel also.
I know YouTube does unless it gets filtered through spam, which it can do.
Yeah. Rachel also says, "Sorry, I facilitated Joey almost killing you by declaring he'd iron you." Which was also one of my favorite bits from the last episode.
God, it's going to be so weird because we're recording this a little bit in advance for reasons. When we come back, like the weekend before the Civil War episode is supposed to be out, to record that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I put another piece of candy in my mouth right before I knew I had to talk again. Usually I do that like when I know I have a bit of a break, but now I don't, and now I'm just stuck like this.
Do you want me to take over and segue us? Because
I got this. All right. Oh no, this is bad.
All right, so I think
like-
that pretty much concludes
There we
Fresh
go.
Face Correspondence
I'm
and
clear now.
our
And
non-spoiler
our spoiler
section.
We're gonna get into spoilers now. Consider
Yay.
God, consider this your official spoiler warning. We're about to get into spoilers for Iron Man Execute program. If you're not sticking around for the spoilers, you can. You already know what's coming next. We're talking about. Oh my God, there's so much chocolate in my mouth.
We're
How big was that piece of candy?
yeah, dude.
So anyway,
We
good.
were
We're
talking
good.
about
Anyway,
Civil War next.
Civil War, the Marvel Comics event Civil War. We're hopefully going to have Mason and Kestrel on because they talk about Captain America and Iron Man with us. It's going to be awesome.
I mean, it's likely going to happen because we do have a recording date set.
We already have it scheduled in. It's going to happen. And actually, if you want to be more well aware of the Q&A ahead of time, the recording date for that should be May 31st. So on Blue Sky, the Q&A for that will be up on that day. So check that out. Submit questions. It's going to be, I'm sure, a massive episode. So much fun, I'm sure.
Yes.
What else? Our socials and everything, that'll be in the link. They'll all be linked. Our link trees and Mason's Blue Sky will all be in the description below. You can follow us wherever you want to follow us. There'll be links to Amazon links to books we're covering today and next time on the podcast. So those will all be there as well. Without further ado, I think it is time for spoilers. God, these non-spoiler sections get so long when we have guests on, and I love it.
Yes.
All right. Kicking off with Iron Man number 7. Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Let's do it.
immediately, our cover promises some things.
Mm-hmm.
Some
of
interesting
characters.
things. Lots of characters.
Mhm.
Including someone no one can recognize.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, this is a character that's literally here on page 1. So,
Luckily, yeah.
so it's not like a spoiler or anything, but it does tell you immediately that they're going to be like really important. So,
On page 1, there's also a John Constantine-looking motherfucker.
um,
Kind of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see that. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, I see that. Huh. How about that? Anyway, so Mr. Green Hooded Spooky Man.
Our villain, because we don't get the reveal of who this character is until like issue 11 of 12.
I like that.
I like that.
I really like it. It fits.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he's passing a guy in London, and guy in a trench coat that looks kind of like John Constantine has been stabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy like goes into a diner. Then he pulls out a little like medallion looking thing, begins doing some that generic version of like of
Hacking?
of what people think hacking looks like in movies and TV shows. Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
black screen with some green numbers and letters.
Also, like
I
we're visually referencing Nighthawks for some reason. Like,
yeah.
and I my brain was like, why are we referencing Nighthawks? Like, is it just for the visual reference? It might just be the visual reference.
It could be. Yeah, we have this guy pulling up a computer program and giving us the titular program to execute. This says execute yes no. He hits yes on it, and then we cut over to some superhero shenanigans as Iron Man finally becomes part of the plot. We see
go to Bulgaria, where
Mhm.
a man called Gorlovich, who is the same man who is in the executed program, is buying some drugs,
Mhm.
And has a woman potentially hostage or is / keeping safe,
Mhm.
and he burns alive, like
Yeah.
almost immediately burns alive.
There's when revisiting this story, that opening scene, that scene actually becomes really, really cool when you know like who's done it and what it's all about. It's cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I do like that in retrospect. Like just looking back at it.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's actually really fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we then take this girl in for questioning.
It's like, who, your classic police investigation, who did this? It was the American Man of Iron.
And then we cut over to New York City, where Iron Man is fighting the Crimson Dynamo, and we get our first bits of action in the story, superhero action, that is, I suppose.
There is some great narration, which is trying to reflect on Iron Man, on Tony's new status quo, about being fully integrated with the suit. And we get a lot of action, a lot of good action, and Tony nearly kills the Crimson Dynamo, but then brings him back to life at the last second, which is going to be an interesting recurring theme for Tony Stark in this book. An idea that I quite like, where he's like, I can go too far because I can kill someone and bring them back to life.
Yeah. It's cool. It's a cool.
I am basically a god, kind of. And it kind of fucks with him mentally, like, a lot. Tony's going to spiral, and I really like Tony spiraling.
It's fun to see.
Yeah. And like here, I mean, we have the introduction of, like, some of the other superheroes that we're going to, like, have in this comment, like, being here, it's Luke Cage and Captain America.
And Spider-Woman.
And Spider-Woman, yeah.
Yes.
And I just I love this panel of them looking, of Tony and Steve looking at each other.
And I know both of you. Oh, sorry. I usually do this when new characters come in. I know your history is with Captain America, but how about Spider-Woman and Luke Cage for the two of you?
So Luke Cage, I have seen in Jessica Jones.
That's true. That is a true fact.
Also, didn't he show up with Iron Fist in
World War Hulk?
In World War Hulk, and
crazy how that happens, huh, Jacob? Crazy how that happens.
And I want to say in Miller's Daredevil.
Very briefly, yes.
Very briefly, there was a brief crossover.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, I don't think I have any history with Luke Cage. I've not seen any of the Netflix shows at present. I know I need to watch Daredevil. I will soon.
Oh god, it's so good, amazing.
But so beyond that, I know Spider-Woman from the Lego games, and then also Across the Spider-Verse, and that's basically it.
I was gonna say, yeah, she's in Across the Spider-Verse.
Actually,
and that's
she's in that. Huh.
Yeah, she's in that. I mean, all the Spider people are in that. If you're a Spider person, you're in that movie.
That's true. What if I'm a Spider person? I'm not in that movie.
Yeah, well, you weren't a Spider person when they made that movie.
You don't know that.
I guess I can't refute that, but I'm pretty sure. I also am 90% sure you're not a Spider person now.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
That's why I was only 90% sure, not 100% sure, Joey. There's still a little bit of doubt. There's still a little bit of doubt that you could be a Spider person. You live close enough to New York City.
New York City.
But
yes, we get a little square off between Iron Man and Captain America because Tony's going a little bit too far, and Tony's like, I'm gonna fuck off now, and he fucks off, and he goes to see Nick Fury.
And also, I love how Luke Cage is like, we could just beat him.
It wouldn't be hard, realistically.
Yeah.
Tony goes to see Nick Fury, and and also Doug. We've had Duggan. We have had Duggan before.
Have we?
Yes, he was in the Captain America 65th anniversary special.
Yes. So Mason hasn't, but
although he is in Captain America: The First Avenger.
Oh, which character was that?
He's part of the squad with Bucky. He's played by Neil McDonough. He's got the big mustache in it.
Oh yes. Okay, yeah.
So he's here. Another man that famously does not like Tony Stark. I don't think
it's almost like really. Tony Stark isn't a very likable person because he's being a dick. He's being a dick. I wrote Tony Stark as a dick multiple times in my notes. That's
how it be.
At least every other issue, if not every issue.
But we then have we have this talk between Nick and Tony. He has Tony looking into this thing called Project Agronaut, as well as this is the scene where he brings up about the. Oh no, he doesn't yet. No, trying to think. No, that's later. Sorry,
well, we start hinting that there's going to be a peace conference type thing. We want
a
peace conference.
Yeah.
Which, for whatever reason, later on, I'm going to bring this up now. a World Peace Conference, which is at like a football stadium for some reason.
You know how that happens sometimes when they have
Yeah.
peace conferences at football stadiums.
You know,
course.
why?
Not a bad idea, realistically.
It's a place where American like patriotism runs rampant.
It's a place where America happens. And so,
Yeah, America is in the football stadium of the world.
It's true. The entirety of America can be fit into one single
The
football
America, like the United States of America, is the American football stadium of the world. I think.
I think the United States of America just is a football stadium. I think we should play football across the entirety of America at some point.
I think, therefore, I am.
I think it's shocking that we have not done that yet. Like, nobody's had the idea to just level the entirety of the United States and just play football on it.
I'm pretty sure there's a sci-fi dystopian novel with that premise.
Imagine like this football field of like 3,000 a mile. Jesus Christ! How do you adjust the rules for that? Like,
I hate this. I hate this.
I think
Anyway,
something about I don't know. I'm sure you could like multiply however many yards a football stadium is. I don't know sports.
it's 100 yards, Joey.
Yeah, so you could fit that into however many.
200 miles?
No, I said yards.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
But no, like I think you could figure out how many yards you would need to adjust that to the entirety of the length of America, and just make that work somehow.
All right, I'll figure it out. I'll get back to you guys later.
Get
All
on,
right.
Mason. Get on.
So yeah, there's a thing called.
And then you just need people that are like the size of whatever the equivalent to that
Gundam.
is to play.
Oh my god, we make Gundams.
Yes,
We make Gundams, and we use them to play football across the United States of America.
Why am I even here?
No, okay, everyone, I need you to support the Bloods Donut Studios Patreon so that you can fund us to get Gundams so we can play
first off,
football.
Here's the thing: if someone's getting a Gundam, it's probably not going to be any of us. It's going to be Erika Ishii first.
That's true.
Yeah.
However,
which of the past?
now you're making me want to ask. One is Iron Man a mech anime?
It could be. I'm surprised it doesn't exist yet. But who of the past Fresh Face Comics guests would be the first to have a Gundam? I want to say it would be like the Enterprise system. I think.
Yeah, it would be them. I think it would
be them. Yeah.
Very likely. Yeah.
I mean this nicely. They're the most weebish of all of our guests.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh,
I think their Power Rangers fandom kind of implies Gundam.
I believe the term is tokusatsu because it's more than just Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I've noted specifically the Power Rangers fandom, so I think.
Yes.
Yeah. God, Iron Man. So.
Oh yeah, Iron Man.
God.
So
what a man.
Argonaut is a thing that Tony lies about, and Tony goes home. We do a bit of him de-suiting. In such
we get some naked Tony.
Again, fascinating that like the metal undersuit just goes into his skin, like these tiny implants.
I would love to see the MCU version of that. Like they're fucking cowards for never trying this shit.
There's something realism, but like
here's the thing: the MCU never made Iron Man sleek enough for my liking, like ever. He was always a little bit too bulky, in my opinion.
I mean, I think some of that might have been from the first movie, doing a lot of actual costume work.
Yeah, that's true.
Awesome,
but yeah, and then it looks good, but then like I could see them, continuing to maybe like evolve the costume to a version like this, where it's a little bit more sleek.
Yeah, they really don't, do they? Like they keep it.
They never do. You get a little closer by the end when the suit is entirely CGI. So
yeah,
but that's only by the nature of it being CGI, really.
And the fact that it's like, we're not going to get Robert Downey Jr. into an Iron Man suit ever again, because
oh god, never.
That's what happens when our actors get too big, and
we're gonna put a big silver mask and a green cloak on him, though.
Spoilers.
You didn't need to remind. Joey, I keep forgetting that that's happening.
Oh, hey,
I don't need to be
speaking of Green Hoods, we're back to the bad guy of the story.
Yeah.
And he's doing another little execute program thing, and we see,
he's watching Old Boy. Like,
yeah, and
it's the
Um,
most. It's the most. I mean, you know, he can't be American. He's watching a movie that's in Korean with subtitles in the movie theater
mhm.
in
Oh,
2006.
in a movie theater. Yeah, that's 6. Yeah, it should be 6.
Yeah,
It's not
2006.
yeah.
Yeah, and
But yeah,
he's doing.
he's doing his little execute program thing, and
Mind you, he leaves
we
the
see
movie theater to go to the bathroom to do the execute program thing. I don't know.
Mhm.
Like, he could just finish the movie first. Like,
He
No.
could. Well, I mean, also he's trying to hit
Nope.
this guy at an airport. That we see from a first person perspective. Somebody lock onto them and go after them, and that's where the issue ends. Bringing us into Iron Man number 8. I really love this cover in particular. I don't know why. There's just something I always liked about like the sort of like workshop Tony Stark vibe, you know, with like the torch and the mask and everything. Like I just kind of like that. It's cool. Anyway, but we have very clearly what is implied to be Iron Man going after this guy on an airplane. We see like I like the way that that Zerker draws the silhouetted Iron Man in that panel on the bottom right there.
it's clearly a reference to Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. Like,
oh, totally.
this
Yeah.
thing has
agree.
just. I think Zerker was given free reign to like reference things, like just like
Mhm.
yeah, you can reference the things that you like.
Yeah, it's cool. But see, the difference between Nightmare at 20,000 Feet and this is that when Iron Man attacks your plane, he can rip it in half, and that's what he does.
Whereas
So-
the Gremlin can't.
yeah,
I do like the woman's reaction of, oh fuck, and then it's just a wide of her flying out of the open like
oh
of
yeah,
like the open hole. I do like that. That's fun comic stuff. I like that.
oh yeah, yeah. So Man is dead. Lots of people are dead, but specifically Man that he was after. We then catch back up with Nick Fury and Duggan. Is it Dugan or Duggan? I think I say Duggan because of Doctor Who City of Death, and I could be wrong. Anyway, but yeah, they're talking about this. Are they talking about the peace conference here or no?
They're talking about the fact that Dennis Kellard was killed on a plane.
Oh. So, yeah.
Dennis Kellard, the arms merchant? Question mark?
Jeff Epstein, the New York financier. Anyway,
Alias Senior Sanchez, apparently. Like,
Oh,
I know Senior Sanchez. I don't know Dennis Kellard. We're talking about the same person.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So
Duggan is in Tanzania for reasons that I'm gonna be honest. Half of this
He's
plot
doing-
kind of gets.
he's doing some Shield shit. He's got important Shield shit to do. Jacob, are you questioning the Shield shit?
No, only a little bit, only briefly.
Don't question the Shield shit. Don't do
we'll
it.
kill you.
I will kill you and your family.
Do you two both work for Shield? Like,
you don't know
I'd
that.
rather
You don't
confirm
know.
or
You don't know.
deny.
You don't know if I'm a Spider-Man. You don't know if I'm a Shield man. You don't know what I am, Jacob.
You don't even know if I am. What are you, Descartes? That was stupid.
I hope you
I was
know,
gonna say
Jacob.
that.
Jacob, I hope you know, Jacob. You turning on your camera has only instigated my fucking with you more.
I know, and I hate this.
Oh,
You know what? The camera's going off. You can't see my.
Oh wait,
face.
I didn't even see it. God damn it, it's fine.
It was because I was face palming. You idiots made me face.
No, you turned it off. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. God damn it. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to the Avengers. We see.
So wait, are these just the Avengers and not the new?
No,
they are the new Avengers.
These are the
Okay.
new Avengers. Yes, these are
I was
the new
like-
Avengers.
Ooh. How
Was
topical.
there a regular Avengers team at this time? Do you know?
No, the new Avengers were the only Avengers. The point of
Okay.
the point of the disassembled event was to get rid of the Avengers altogether.
So
and then,
like,
so there was a whole
once-
rebrand of the new Avengers.
So once again, Marvel Comics is stealing from the Avengers
I guess.
because they then disassembled and rebranded as the new Avengers in the 70s.
didn't know
I
that.
am making a joke about
I know nothing about the British Avengers, so
which it's very much you'd like it. I think you'd like it.
I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's something that I'd be very into. I just have never taken.
I mean, it's got a lot of writers and directors that you like.
Yeah, but like so does Blake Seven, and I've still never bothered with that. So
yeah, so this is where we creep into some of we're prepping for Civil War, even more than the last issue kind of did with the Steve Tony tension. Mainly because this is Iron Man coming in essentially to help the new Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Also, so yeah, I didn't realize that Peter Parker as Spider-Man was on the Avengers because I did not recognize the mechanized suit.
The Iron Spider suit is a fucking as shit as it is. I don't like it, but it's an iconic Spider-Man look. I'm surprised you didn't recognize it.
Here's the thing. It's because it's colored differently than the MCU version of the suit.
The MCU version of the suit sucks ass balls. It's really bad.
Yeah, but that's the only suit I recognize. That's that suit.
I like the MCU one, but that's because I grew up with it. So whatever.
I don't know. I just don't like any version of the Iron Spider suit personally.
I don't love a lot of the MCU
it's not an idea.
suits.
It's not an idea for the character that ever really appeals to me. I don't like mechanized Spider-Man. I don't know. It doesn't work for me.
That is fair.
Yeah, we have Spider-Man and Wolverine and Spider-Woman and everyone fighting. Half
of this is who are our most popular characters.
Yeah. I mean, Spider-Woman was a huge deal at the time. To many, she still is. But we have them fighting Abaddon, and Captain America's here. We have Iron Man coming in to help them. We got basically just a big action sequence at the start of this. It's nice.
And a really interesting moment where Peter Parker gets maybe hurt and murdered, and
like
feels like they're trying to treat Peter Parker like a kid. Remember, Peter Parker is a whole ass adult. He is
a whole ass adult, and that's another thing I'm excited for you guys to read in Civil War. I need to know now. Are you guys aware of a pretty famous Spoderman scene from Civil War the comic?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
What? Mason might be okay.
I am.
Here's the thing. I know that Civil War ends up becoming the lead-in.
I'll DM you what I know, Joey.
Here's the thing. I know that Civil War is the lead-in to Spider-Man making a deal with the devil for his marriage.
So true, my guy. What a moment. One of the comic moments of all time.
That is now nearly 20 years old and still hasn't been undone. Like,
yeah. You're correct about that, Mason. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I know what it is, but I won't say. But yeah, I do know.
Whole ass adult being treated like a child.
Also, Steve Rogers says he's alive. He'll be okay. He's seen worse. Like, Steve, are you okay? Are you, buddy? Like, I don't know if people are reading Brubaker's book at this time, which paints a very different Steve Rogers.
Yeah, it's weird. I do like the scene though at Avengers Tower afterwards. I like this square off between Tony and Logan. I really enjoy this scene.
That works.
We're putting two bearded Marvel characters with some of the biggest balls in one room together, and
one of them is canonically very short.
Yes. And I also just really like this for Jessica Drew, like being the sort of.
I'm going to say this gave me a sense of who Jessica Drew was as a character, even though I knew very little about this character outside of Across the Spider-Verse, which is a very different interpretation of the character, as far as I can tell. Like,
we have Jessica quite literally slapping some sense into Tony as like Tony and Logan are having their sort of like dick measuring contest.
Like the claws come out. The suit comes out. Jessica Drew has pheromones. Like,
yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Like, she's a spider person. She's a spider person. You don't get the spider person.
Yes. Spider person. Who created this character and how horny were they?
I forget who created Jessica Drew. I'm going to find that out. I'm going to find that out right now. God. I don't know, actually.
I don't know anything about Silk, but now that you said it's not as bad as Silk, I'm worried.
It is not as horny as Silk.
I like Silk a lot as a character.
I've only seen the like people making fun of when her and Peter Parker are in a room together.
Oh no! Jessica Drew was created by Archie Goodwin. No,
Was Archie Goodwin that
I don't know if he was, but also
He
this
probably
was
was.
This was the late 70s.
Oh, he was horny.
Yeah,
Late 70s Archie Goodwin.
They were horny back then.
yeah. I mean, also, current at the time, what would have been current Jessica Drew would have been the main writer for her would have been Brian Michael Bendis. So, and I need to reiterate for the podcast, we haven't covered any Bendis yet, but I'm okay with the existence of Brian Michael Bendis. I'm okay with him.
I was gonna say, I don't think. Here's the thing.
I could live on the same. I could live on the same plane of existence as Brian Michael Bendis.
It's the thing
but he needs to stop writing solo books, or sorry, stop writing team books. I just.
Here's the thing. Brian Michael Bendis. I know we've said it. He's not like Frank Miller, where there's an ideological problem.
Here's my, I guess, Civil War hot take. I think Civil War could have been good under Bendis. I don't know why Bendis didn't write it, because it's a new Avengers event. I don't know why Bendis wasn't the guy for that.
I think it might have been Millar's idea.
I'm gonna throw up.
It might have been his baby, I think. I'll do some research in between episodes. We'll see.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Anyway. You figure that out. I'll figure out the American football field, and then we'll meet back up next episode.
I hate that I have like a serious thing to contribute to the discussion, and Mason has bits.
Are you kidding me? Hey, listen.
Am I trapped in Game Changer? Is this secretly an episode of Game Changer?
Are you making fun of America's greatest pastime?
That's baseball.
Who even is baseball? All I know is football. The Super Bowl.
The way Mason said that.
Wait, of the three of us, am I the one who knows the most about sports? Because I know very little about sports.
I don't know sports, Jacob. I have never followed a single sport in my life.
I am somehow the most... Why am I the sports guy?
I know the most about... Okay, so unironically, I do know the most about baseball because our family watched it growing up, but that's basically it.
Okay, I'm not the one who knows the most about sports here. Thank God.
Sport.
God.
We then get we have Senor Sanchez as he is known. We have Iron Man going after him. Well, sorry, it's a reveal that he's Iron Man, but it's
also my God, this book gets horny. Like
book gets horny. Early 2000s, definitely, but also
I will say that is the one thing about reading, or especially early 2000s. I mean. 90s and early 2000s comics, especially early 2000s comics, here's really the horny.
Thing. I don't think any era of comics has not been horny. There are just different degrees of it.
There are different types of horny, and some hornies are skeezier than others. Early 2000s is usually kind of a skeezy horny, just a little bit. Like,
yeah.
It's where we got peak tits on the cover. Like,
yeah. Anyway, so Iron Man kills a bunch of people. Like, just there's some pretty gruesome murder here in this.
He does some murder. Like, there's a crucifixion.
It's worth noting that for those listening that have not read the comic, that this is very much Iron Man under some sort of mind control, and this is not actually Tony Stark doing this. But
yeah,
Iron Man flies away. Duggan becomes aware of Iron Man killing Sanchez, and that is the end of the issue. So we go into Iron Man number 9.
This might be my favorite cover of the bunch because I find the fascinating juxtaposition of I find the image of Iron Man with a bunch of weapons, with a literal tank and helicopters, military helicopters, a fascinating encapsulation of what Extremis and Execute program are trying to do.
I think you just love guns, Jacob. I think you just love guns and the army and America and George Bush. I think you're just really horny for weaponry and mass destruction and Iraq and all.
Wait, Joey, you know I was a Boy Scout, so I have shot guns before. They are very fun to shoot. Like,
Jacob, I have a very serious question for you.
Oh no! Yes.
Would you fuck an AK-47?
No.
Okay. All right.
Have you ever shot an AK-47, Jacob?
Shot? No.
Me neither.
You're a bad American, Jacob.
I've mostly done rifles and pistols. I was a Boy Scout.
What kinds? I bet you know the exact model and make of them. You seem like the kind of guy. You seem like the kind of guy that knows exactly.
I don't remember
what
what the pistols
Holy
was, but the rifles were just 22s.
Oh god, you're such a little gun nut, Jacob. You just love your guns, man. Oh my god, you love murdering people. It's great.
Jacob,
My dad's from Missouri.
Isn't it crazy how Jacob has never denied a single thing I've said over the past 2 minutes?
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Here's the thing. I am both pro gun control, but also like in a way pro Second Amendment. I think that it's.
Everyone heard it here. Everyone heard it here first.
I think we need actual gun control.
Everyone heard it here first. Everyone heard it here first. Jacob Licklider voted for Donald Trump. That's basically what he said.
No.
That's exactly what he said.
No. We are not even entertaining that joke because that is going to be fucking.
Yeah, that's an aggressive slash J there, isn't it? Yeah.
Here's the thing. We're leftists who are pro gun.
Oh, God.
On that topic, they are kind of correct in certain ways.
Jacob, who's your gun Sona?
What? No.
Who's your gun Sona?
I think you guys are overestimating my relationship with firearms.
Oh man,
No
I
idea
don't know, man. All I heard just now every time Jacob speaks is just the sound of a fucking AK-47 drilling into my head. Every time he speaks, I just have flashbacks to when I saw a gun once, and I imagined what it would sound like when it shot.
You have more flashbacks every time Jacob speaks.
God, man,
So Iron Man, am I right, guys? Let's start going.
I had a salient point about what this cover represented and was saying.
I do like the cover. I think it's fun. I like it.
Mason.
You're welcome. I got you, King.
I'm having a great time today, you guys.
This is great.
Happy Mother's Day, you guys. Jacob, tell your mom I said Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah,
Okay.
for everyone listening. So the last episode was recorded very, very late at night. This is like smack dab in the middle of the afternoon for us.
All right, so issue 9 starts with Tony framed by all of his Iron Man suits, which there are 5.
Oh god, I love the big boy. What a big lad. What a huge boy. Tony Stark's such a huge boy. Oh my god. So he has some flashbacks.
Right.
Tony has some non-flashbacks.
Yes, flashbacks to Yinsen.
Yeah.
And about how he left him behind, and we get some, we get some narration, very much where it's like, Anthony Stark Jr. has a very good reason, for killing, there's, Tony thinks that our third victim killed the first two.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole thing, and then it's very much like he also could be the one to kill them. And there's this idea, it came up last time, that there was 22 minutes where Iron Man was offline.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be our question. So, we then go into a giant S.H.I.E.L.D. briefing. Coming to the conclusion, Tony Stark has gone rogue. And we're all kind of fucked because he is now no longer a human being. He's literally a living weapon. He has been changed at the genetic level into something non-human. And that, of course, makes S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't want to say rightfully scared, but scared.
Mm-hmm.
Part of this is also...
I'm sure like you, Jacob, really loved Tony Stark at this point, right? Too? Like as such a huge weapons fan, like a guy that is literally a weapon. When you saw that, you were like, oh god, he's so real for that.
I shouldn't have said that I've ever shot a gun, should I have? That.
Oh man, he's probably your favorite comic book character of all time.
No,
right?
My favorite comic book character is Superman. It's always been Superman.
You don't relate to Tony Stark though, because you are also a gun.
You are a gun.
So anyway, yeah, she was scared of Tony. And Tony then contacts them because he's of course been listening into their meeting, and
and he makes a decision that I think is fascinating. That he says, "I'm innocent," but he implies he has enough doubt that he's going to turn himself in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants it to be like absolutely sure that like, hey, if another attack happens, you know exactly where I am. And so
Yeah.
Also, I genuinely want this peace summit to happen to try to get us towards peace, which is, again, admirably continuing the arc that Ellis laid down for the character.
Is Tony Stark just John Cena? Is he the peacemaker? Is he will get peace at any cost?
No, he's Errol Flynn. He's Errol Flynn.
I think he's you, Jacob Licklider.
No, please, no.
You're both weapons. You're both living weapons. You are a gun.
Can I tell you? I know we're doing a comics podcast, but can I tell you a story about how my cousins had me shoot a shotgun with like no preparation?
Oh yeah, tell us about how you're a living weapon now too.
Yeah, so I remember one Christmas we all went to a shooting range because everyone that was in this trip were men, and that's what they do, I guess. So they had a bunch of weapons, and they quite literally just handed me a shotgun and said, "Aim it there and fire."
Ooh,
And
that is not safe.
Yeah,
that is
very much
Jacob.
not so.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Jacob, tell me all about proper gun etiquette, Jacob. Oh God.
well.
Please.
You want to? I mean, yeah, there are proper gun.
I like the idea of Joey getting off reading like OSHA violations or something. Like yeah, tell me the rules. Tell me the rules.
You forget. Oh God, what? I hate this. I hate this. I mean, this is all because this is so out of character for me, isn't it, Joey? Like
I mean, I also just hate all guns, period, and I think no human civilian in their right mind should own a gun. But
that's interesting. That's fair.
I like the conversation. Let's keep having it.
Yes,
No,
Oh God, we're having a tangent on gun rights. I'm gonna outright say I don't think we can strip the Second Amendment completely. It's an impossibility. So we need to highly regulate.
Oh God, Jacob, you're so right. Oh God, tell me all about
But
Jacob, the closer we get to episode 100, the more insane I go.
I was gonna say, geez.
And the more I lose my fucking mind. Like,
Oh, this is great. I'm loving this.
God. Anyway, so Tony's in prison. Tony puts himself in a prison.
And they like make the point of like this is like the last purely like analog prison because again, from like as we've learned from last time, because of the Extremis thing, Tony is connected to every fucking like server in the world, and like we see this a lot throughout this comic, and it's like this is meant to be like you cannot access like any security system to get yourself out from this.
Yeah,
and we need to reference Goldfinger for very fun reasons, and the suit itself is locked up at Fort Knox.
Yeah. And so we go back to Mr. Green Hood Man.
Where is Fort Leavenworth? Because I'm pretty sure that's an actual military fort. Hang on.
Oh, Jacob, tell me how much you know about the military. Oh God.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jacob, this is not something you want to ask out loud. Joey's like, this is gonna open another can.
Yeah. So, it's in. Okay, so Tony's locked up in Kansas.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I know, right? I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it was in like the middle of nowhere, aka Kansas.
Kansas piece of shit. Sorry.
And the suit is in Kentucky because that's where Fort Knox is. I'm trying to make this get real in the chaos, but I'm losing it. Fuck. So we execute another program, and the suit breaks out of Fort Knox, flies across the country, and flies to southern Iraq because we're continuing a lot of the very well done, generally anti-U.S. interventionist sentiment. As obviously through the lens of Iron Man, the Iron Man suit as a weapon in and of itself, to represent the top of the line weaponry that the United States was using during the Iraq War. That at this point, I think the public would definitely known a lot about a lot of the atrocities because this is 2006, so the war had been going on for half a decade.
This is the period where it was like the shift had occurred between like pure like government like acceptance versus being like, okay, how far are we actually going here, guys?
I mean, there were protesters from the very beginning because
Oh no, absolutely.
people knew Bush was lying, and the British government was lying.
But just like I guess the acceptance to like outwardly do that without getting like, I mean, there's always going to be people like going against you for
the approval rating for Bush as a president was dropping. I believe
something I'm sure Jacob Licklater strongly
shut up
disapproves of. When you saw that number dropping when you were a child, you were like, oh god, they're so wrong.
Okay, you're joking. Remember, I was raising. You realize, like, my dad's side of the family.
Say where you lived growing up.
my dad's side of the family is very conservative.
What's your address? Where do you live?
Tell me where your parents live, Jacob.
Tell me where your parents are.
Where are they right now at this exact moment?
They are in. If you could put in a bleep over this, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington D.C.
Jesus Christ! Why would you do that?
Oh my god!
You actually say it.
They're so. Oh god. Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, no. But my point of this, because I had a salient point. Here I am trying to actually dissect these, and Joey's just here making the chaos. It's great.
Yeah.
My point is that Iron Man is we are at a point where Bush would have won re-election at this point. And let's be honest, one of the big reasons that Bush won re-election was in fact 9/11. Like, it was stoking the fears of stoking racism and xenophobia post 9/11. And at this point, I don't want to say the American left was starting to gain power, because that's a little. I mean, what passes for the left in America, because we are getting close to Obama announcing his campaign for presidency in late 2007, early 2008, and we're going to have the Obama administration. But this is still very much in that post-Bush era. We're exploring the atrocities, and we are letting people not off the hook. We're better at not letting people off the hook for these atrocities in fiction than we were in reality, because that's what sort of the Knopfs are doing with this. Now it's going to kind of shift in the next two issues, because the next two issues are going to get weird.
I like when you pronounce Knopf with a K. I doubt it should be pronounced in their name.
It's fine. Okay. It's okay. I'm listening, Jacob.
The Knopfs. But yeah, so like our issue becomes just a lot of destruction, like, and then Tony has to sit in that destruction, like,
yeah,
what the fuck has he done?
Yeah. And then, as if the issue couldn't get any better, the final page reveals that being called in to handle our Iron Man problem is the one, the only, the greatest superhero of all time, the Sentry.
Let's talk about the Sentry and what he contributes to this book.
Nothing?
Yeah, no, like, so Iron Man issue 10 proudly boasts an Iron Man Sentry fight, because God, Marvel was pushing this character really hard.
So hard.
I forget what the bit was in the Hulk episode. Am I meant to be like the Sentry's biggest fan? I forget.
No, he bad character.
Okay, got it. Okay.
I don't know what you actually said back in the Hulk episode, but I don't know.
Well, I think as a bit, I was like trying to be like, no, he's the greatest Marvel character in the universe. But like,
I feel like I kept doing that a lot. I don't know.
Maybe. I will say I had completely forgotten its existence when this character popped up, and I was just like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I do think its inclusion here is slightly better, because they don't keep fucking leading up to it like in the World War Hulk one. Where
yeah.
It's like in a couch somewhere.
Yeah, this one is just like it's a single page cliffhanger, and then like he's there for a full issue, and that's about it. Like,
yeah, I like that more.
God, well, okay, he doesn't appear again until like right near the end of this issue.
Yeah,
like.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love the way this issue opens with a naked Sal. Sal is back, which is great. He's opening a beer and finding a really fucking scared Tony Stark in his home, and I really love that.
Oh.
Oh, God, it's
Tony
so-
Stark,
I
who
love
through
Okay.
ascending above being human, has literally lost his central sense of identity.
yeah,
like-
oh, it's so good. Such a great
And I
panel
like
there.
like slightly going back. I do love because I mean obviously we had Tony Stark in the prison, and then we see the Iron Man suit doing all of these horrible things. And me reading it, my first assumption was just, oh, it's the suit being controlled by this thing. And then it takes off the head, and no, it's Tony. So it's just like this implication of like, oh no, it is actually him. And just I love the scene where he's just breaking down like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, and I do not know where else to go.
Yeah. You get like these great couple pages where you imagine like Tony and Sal would have a lot to talk about, but it's mostly silence and Tony just sitting in all the horrible shit that is happening in his life. Like, ugh, it's so good.
We find out basically that that Shield has been authorized to have lethal force and have all the resources in apprehending Tony Stark.
Mhm.
So, and that Shield and that the United States government is putting out active disinformation to try to like keep Iron Man's image pure,
Mhm.
which doesn't get explored, and I wish it was kind of like you got something there about how the government sucks. And
A small thing. I don't know if this character has a name, but the defense secretary that is being used here, is he suspiciously drawn to kind of look like Obama? Like, I know that wouldn't have been a thing that would have been possible yet, but like,
I mean, Obama was a senator and a fairly popular senator.
Like, to be completely honest, I did think that as well, like very casually. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's
well, especially because like we have comic books from Obama's presidency that just straight up draws him as a character in the universe. Like Flashpoint,
I mean,
like Flashpoint straight up has Obama talking to Hal Jordan. Like it's great. Yeah, it's
Cool.
it's bizarre. Yeah. But no, it's I don't know. He suspiciously kind of looks like Barack Obama, and I don't get it.
yeah. So now we get blonde Tony Stark.
Blonde Tony Stark, because Tony Stark is hiding himself. He shaves off his goatee and he becomes a blonde. And
so I haven't looked at Civil War, but
he's not blonde.
I was going to say, I don't think he's going to be blonde in
He is
Civil War.
He is distinctly not blonde in Civil War.
I think they just dropped this plot point because Mark Millar doesn't care about any other writer.
Mark Millar doesn't care about a lot of things. Mostly writing a good story, but
wow, sick burn.
yeah. Oh god, yeah. I'm just so good at this. I'm not nearly as good at this as Jacob is at defending Lord Emperor Trump, but I mean, I think it's
God damn it! We don't.
Did I tell you guys about the poem I wrote where God comes down and kills Trump? Did I tell you guys about that?
Oh god, I would love to hear that.
I'll show it to you later. I don't want to read it here because it's very much a first draft, but I did in fact write that.
I love it. Oh god, I love it.
So here's where we find out about the tumor.
Mhm.
And it's basically like, okay, so the tumor isn't extremis.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read it. Extremis exhibits a certain brutal transformative efficiency. This, though, it's elegant. So we decide to depict Maya Henson in prison being attacked by the families of people she's responsible for the deaths of.
Mm-hmm. Which is a cool idea. I like.
It's a cool idea. It doesn't get explored nearly as much as it should.
Yeah. I think Maya should have been introduced way earlier in the story. Personally,
we immediately break her out. Part of me thinks that this might have been intended to be maybe a little longer than it was, and then it's like, well, shit, we're doing Civil War. So
hey guys, I just realized something. I realized something super weird about this Iron Man suit. Look at his feet. Why does he have little claws on his feet?
Oh,
that's a good question.
I've never noticed that until right now. He has just two little claws, like he's one of those cartoon dinosaurs.
There are little like sharp points on the suit, like above the knees. They come.
Yeah, but I'm saying like they're just little. They're meant to look like claws, like on an animal or something. It's just it's bizarre. I've never noticed that before this exact moment, and I just think it's worth noting.
Interesting. That is an interesting design thing.
Yeah.
Is it maybe to represent the suit looking more like his actual biological like human form, maybe.
Oh, you like more like toes kind of thing? Yeah, I could maybe see that.
Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, Tony breaks Maya out. Sal sews a bitch up, and we have Maya helping to hopefully get Extremis, or the thing that is helping someone hack into Extremis to get that under control.
We also remember that Maya is a sociopath because like she was unrepentant at the end of Extremis. Like
Yeah.
But again, there isn't a whole lot of time because we literally have 2 issues to wrap this. We have like 2.5 issues to wrap this story up.
I do fucking like when Maya looks at fucking Tony Stark and goes, "How many toddlers have your landmines killed today, Tony?" Like, Jesus fucking Christ, that's such a hard line. But it is time for a peace conference, and at this peace conference, we have the Avengers, basically
and the Fantastic Four.
I was gonna say all the characters mentioned before, plus the Fantastic Four. So,
and She-Hulk and Carol Danvers.
That's correct. That's correct. Oh, and Wolverine and
we've already mentioned Wolverine.
We have mentioned Wolverine. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And then you have the reporter being like, and Tony Stark is suspiciously absent. So like people are wondering, what's the reason? Is it guilt? Like, is it
Tony Stark a little bitch?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then we have our villain just getting into the stadium, like.
You know how you do that, right? It's easy.
Yeah, with a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
So we have this argument about like what Tony is post Extremis. Like the idea is that this thing has actually been in Tony since before Extremis. Like.
Mm-hmm. Like his connection to the suit has sort of just always been doing this to him, to his neural tissue. It's cool.
And it only changed because he became the armor with Extremis. So like, it's this idea that this entire thing was a plan for a very long time. And it kind of works when we get the reveal of who the villain is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it does.
But it's little.
We don't have enough time to think about that because our little plan here is being cut off by the Sentry, the greatest superhero of all time, Superman. He's just like Superman, Jacob. Don't you see? Don't you love him as much as Superman?
Look, the Sentry is what people who don't like Superman think Superman is. Like...
He's Superman, Jacob. He's just like me for real. Did
you just compare yourself to Superman?
Yeah, I am Superman. He is me.
Yeah. Oh, okay, word.
Yeah, so we have basically an action scene, and we end with Tony being beaten down by the Sentry, like, and being neutralized.
Yeah, and it brings
which is really funny when you turn the page to get to the next one, and like he's just
he just kind of gets up and just punches him. Like, yeah, it's like so Iron Man number 11 with another cover showing off Jacob's favorite thing about Iron Man: how much he's like a weapon, how much he is the military, how much Jacob loves the military, man. How much he loves.
What I hate is that half of this statement isn't wrong. Like, I do love the commentary of Iron Man as a weapon. Like, it's an interesting commentary.
So you cannot deny my point.
I can deny the other half of your point because this is a pancakes and waffles situation.
Joey, I feel like you would make a great politician.
I feel like if Jacob was able to vote as a 1-year-old, he would have voted for Bush.
Here's the thing. There's about a 50-50 shot that Jacob as a 1-year-old would have voted just based on fine motor skills of which button would I have pressed. Like, it could have gone either way.
Exactly.
Again, I like the idea of it being like not a ballot. It's like a row of buttons, and the one at the very bottom is Bush, just so that like whenever a kid walks in, just by the laws of like it is the lowest button to them, that's the one they hit.
Yes,
that's part of the reason why the way candidates appear on ballots is randomized, because psychologically you are potentially more likely to be influenced by just the first name you see at the top.
Oh god, Jacob knows a lot about voting for bad candidates. He does it all the time.
Every Sunday he wakes up Every Sunday he wakes up, goes to church, and then goes to the.
What I
voting
hate
ballot.
is that I am politically active. I do vote in local elections.
He submits yet, and he goes.
Good.
Yeah, you're right, Mason. He goes and submits yet another vote for Trump. He just the election's over. He just keeps doing it. He just keeps sending shit in.
every Sunday
You
he
laugh,
just
but
puts
you
the
know
mailbox.
there are Trump supporters who are doing that shit. Like
no doubt.
That
And you're one of them.
genuinely is very funny to me. Good for insurance.
Oh, man.
We'll send him another
God,
vote.
someone's going to listen
God,
to this.
if we don't laugh about it, it only makes the reality worse. So
Very much so.
Here's the thing. My question is someone going to listen to this and genuinely think you're not joking and taking the piss? Like,
I like to think the fact that I said nobody should have a gun would give them enough of an idea of what I actually think.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or like, I don't know. Everyone, guess what? Everyone, hey,
What, Mason?
hey,
What?
guess what?
Huh, what?
We at Fresh Face Comics do not stand by those opinions expressed by the members of Fresh Face Comics. Boom, we're good.
Mason,
good,
that,
yes.
that statement only counts if you're a permanent member of Fresh Face Comics. So, are you a permanent member of Fresh Face Comics?
No, we can't. That scheduling for that is going to be
I have a
utterly
question.
insane, Joey.
Guys, hey guys, I have a question.
What's your question, Mason?
Hey guys, do you guys need a third member of the podcast?
All right, getting us back on track. Iron Man number 11. We just gets
Yes,
back up and
So he gets back up. We have it to fight. We fight.
so
in
we
the
can basically
Sentry.
just get rid of the Sentry because
Yeah, it's crazy
Yeah.
how Tony could just do that. Like, like isn't the Sentry supposed to be literally just Superman?
They just make him-
apparently
He just has a panic attack.
Yeah,
He literally doom scrolls, and that's how they stop him.
yeah.
yeah, which again, here's the thing. I don't want to say like a superhero with mental health issues should be a fascinating character to focus on.
Oh, absolutely.
Nobody actually cares about the Sentry or his mental health issues in terms of
Mhm.
writing him like that, and that's kind of the problem. That's one of
Yeah.
the problems with this. That's what reduces him to literally we just want to do what we think Superman is like, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because I will say, speaking, there is potential with this character. I guess none of it's ever reached.
Mhm.
But we go to the peace conference at Wembley Stadium. Iron Man is going. Maya's trying to get an MRI machine for Tony, while Sal is taking a dump.
Yeah.
While our mystery villain guy is sending more programs to take over Tony's suit. Tony's eyes go all red.
The Avengers go into action. The civilians at the stadium don't know what's going on. Like,
yeah, the Avengers just start jumping up and flying into the air and shit, and they're just like, "Wow, what a normal thing to be happening." Hey, do I bring this up on the episode? Sure.
No.
Why is like She-Hulk's entire chest out in this one panel? Look, it's very tiny. When the Avengers are jumping up out of the crowd.
oh yeah, she's just
Yeah, look at that! Look at that! Yeah, isn't
Jesus.
that weird?
How do you notice that? Jesus.
I
What?
just noticed that.
Is it an art? Maybe it's a coloring error, but you think they would fix it for the book?
Like, Marvel comics artists are very horny for She-Hulk. So
I mean, I get it.
wait
Get
until there's one of my favorite, not favorite, but it's a truly hilarious panel from Civil War. It's just there's other shit happening in the panel, and half of the entire panel is taken up by a close up of She-Hulk's ass. It's so fucking funny.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a problem.
But yes, Tony does start to communicate with S.H.I.E.L.D. to be like, hey, I've been compromised, guys. There is something in my brain. Reed Richards, help, you're a genius. This is pre-Illuminati, isn't it? Technically.
Yeah, like maybe
Right before.
Oh no! They exist.
Oh, they exist.
They might not have officially been known as the Illuminati yet. It might have just been a collective of figureheads from different corners.
So up to the Illuminati at this point.
Because at this point, they already would have sent Hulk to space.
Yeah. Because he isn't in Civil War, is he?
Yeah. No, he's not in Civil War.
So it turns out they're actually chasing an empty suit.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And Tony has actually been on the ground finding this kid.
And so
I love it.
But, yeah, it's a cool. I like that. And then he sends bits of the suit after Tony, after the other.
Also,
members.
he steals a phone from someone who kind of looks like Barbara Gordon. Like,
yeah, strange moment.
Like, did someone just draw like Barbara Gordon? Yeah.
But,
so
we have the villain monologuing to Tony. Then
that he is a loose end. So this is Yinsen's son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yinsen's son. Honestly,
the person
good
who
twist.
saved Iron Man.
Great twist. Yeah. Amazing twist. Amazing villain potential. Amazing villain potential for the rest of this story and the last issue.
Hey Jacob, isn't it crazy how much Wanted Hal Jordan sucks? Because this is basically that. This is basically that, but so much better.
Twist.
Like,
yeah, you're right.
I am. So basically, okay, you know who Abin Sur, the character, is in Green Lantern, right? The guy that gives Hal's ring.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a storyline that we read in the podcast called Wanted Hal Jordan, where
which was publishing around this a little after this, honestly.
Yeah, a little after this, yeah. Where the son of Abin Sur became a villain and wanted to kill Hal Jordan because he blamed him for the death of his father. And
I was going to say, Wanted Hal Jordan probably would have actually, the story itself may have actually started publishing at this point. Like,
at the very least, probably would have already been written.
Definitely written, because the issues that volume covers was 2006 to 2007.
Yeah, that's from the 1 year later stuff from DC. So yeah, right around the same time, really. That's a really weird coincidence. Anyway, so yeah, so he's.
If I had a nickel.
So he is Ho Yinsen's son. He is
wants to avenge his dad, and it's then revealed his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he has. He's not just hacked into Tony's suit, but all of Tony's suits. So all those ones that we saw Tony surrounded by before. If something were to happen to this guy, like say a sniper is waiting to take him out, and if he were to fall and accidentally,
there's a dead man switch.
Yeah, if you were to die, these other suits get activated, and that is where the issue ends, taking us into.
I will say before the issue ends, in his monologue, his motivation is great. It's great.
Yeah.
The Knopfs make us care about this kid in like 2 pages. Like, he's kind of cares, and then we just shoot him dead. Like, we aren't even going to really do any resolution in the final issue for a final showdown. We are just going to kill this child.
Yeah. Which is something I think truly about the cruelty of S.H.I.E.L.D., because it's a S.H.I.E.L.D. guy that kills him.
It does. It does the cruelty of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it also kind of weakens what the story is going for. Like,
well, does it?
Because
I think you see some genuine regret from Tony in this moment. I think you see a lot of Tony's like unresolved feelings about a man like Ho Yinsen, who saved his life and he pretty much never saw again. And I think it works. I think in a way it is, because we're building up to Civil War. It is Tony reckoning with the cruelty of his life as a superhero, essentially. And I don't know. I think it works. I never minded it. I think it's a great ending for the character, short-lived as he may be.
I don't know. I'm a little mixed because I do wish we had more, but I do think that for the way that like as a variable that will lead Tony into the events of the next storyline, I think it makes sense, and like along with everything else that's happening in this story, it all comes together in like a wonderful little like hurricane of setup that like will push Tony over the edge. I guess. As like on its own, if I'm looking at the character on its own, I do wish there was more. But as a moving part in this overall story, I do like how it works.
Yeah,
I will say a
I
lot
can
of
see
issue
that.
12 feels like it's meant to be the inciting incident for Civil War.
Yes.
It could be. It'd be a
I
better
would-
insight.
I was gonna say-
I say that. I don't hate the inciting incident for Civil War. When we get to it, we'll talk about it. It's actually pretty good. I would almost enjoy this more though. Mm.
That's how it feels like.
Do I tell you guys what the inciting incident is? Do you know what the inciting incident of Civil
I know
War
that
is?
it's something completely different involving doesn't it involve the new warrior, the new mutants or something?
Yes, I know this.
Yeah. It's a mutant thing. It's these kids. Do you care if I say it or no?
You know what? Let's not say it. So it's not
Okay.
this though.
It's not this, and I
No.
think there's something to be said about directly involving Tony in what the inciting incident of Civil War is, in such a way that the idea is, in Civil War's case, to make Tony a more neutral figure in it, someone that just has a strong opinion on it, rather than someone that was directly responsible for it. In a way, in that case, I would much prefer that this be the inciting incident, but it's not. And so we have what is just in this case the ending to a single story arc, and not as much the setup for another one.
Until the last page, which clearly wants to be a setup.
Last time I checked,
don't Yeah.
to be a register. So yeah.
Well, yeah.
So we have the Iron Man suits unleashed, working to kill heroes. And
This also becomes basically an Avengers book, because while we do focus a lot on Tony, we also focus a lot on how the other heroes are helping, and Namor for some reason.
I fucking love that underwater Iron Man suit though. That thing looks cool as fuck.
It is cool, but it's like,
Yeah.
the Namor for a cameo, I guess.
Yeah.
And Tony can save him. It's basically the climax of Iron Man 3.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. The suits aren't evil in Iron Man 3.
No,
so...
but let's use all the suits in a big
Maybe
fight.
it's more like the end of Age of Ultron, maybe.
That I could see. Yeah, that makes more sense. Because that's more like Tony's directly responsible for these evil robots, and the Avengers have to fight them. Yeah, it is the end of Age of Ultron. Fuck, you're right. I never thought about that before. Huh. Strange.
Damn.
I love this line from Tony of, Reed, can I borrow Johnny for a sec? You gonna give him back?
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. We begin.
It's another big action issue.
Yeah. It's not.
I
think it's better than Extremis's last big.
It is. It certainly has more substance than Extremis.
Well, I think also because there's more than one protagonist at play here, and so there's a little bit more at stake. So you feel that as Tony has to dismantle his suits one by one, in order to save his friends, and his friends have to help him. But also his friends are judging Tony the entire time.
Rightfully so. Tony Stark kind of sucks.
Yeah.
He is the asshole.
Yeah.
Tony's a dick. So
that's all it is. He has to take.
He does sacrifice himself. He does sacrifice himself to save everybody, which is a good bit of taking responsibility. And he's
specifically in that it's Captain America at the end too,
who has been having tension with through this entire thing.
And I do love the I guess literary or thematic parallel or whatever it would be of the issue starting with Tony willingly just stopping and starting someone's heart, and then him having to stop his own heart and then put the trust that he'll come back in other people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Because of the big Hulkbuster suit's connection to him. It is, he's like, when I'm dead, you're dead, and so he stops his own heart. It's cool. It's a great ending. But then
we wrap up in the hospital.
Yes.
So, yeah, it turns out
Brother. I'm an out-of-character Tony Stark at the end. You're right, Sal, but I'm not the only one with a gun lying around.
Well, hang on. Before we get to that,
whether they go bad and they're co-opted like I was, the result is the same: an unacceptable loss of innocent lives. Every superhero is a potential gun, and the last time I checked, yuck, guns required registration.
So I will say there is.
Go on. Be careful.
Technically, that is true. And there was more gun control. Oddly enough, there was more gun control in 2006 when this was being published than there is now. Like, yeah, no.
And what are the odds? George Bush was on his way out. Jacob, your favorite time in American history was coming to an end. And
welcome to the end of peak, everyone.
Also, can we just say that this treats the woman who saw the first murder in Bulgaria really terribly? Like, she's just doomed to die of an overdose off screen. Like,
yeah.
We just love. Let's be honest. That's some classic early 2000s sexism in comics right there. But yeah, Tony is really out of character. And I'm also going to say, part of the problem, and I have a feeling this is going to be a problem with Civil War, is the allegory for superheroes as weapons can only go so far, and can only work with certain heroes.
Yeah, I suppose
with Tony it works.
Yeah, when you're taking that
Hulk,
when you're taking that into Hulk, who's not part of the event, but when you take that into consideration with the entire Marvel universe, the context becomes a bit different. Let's say,
a bit different. Also, I'm going to be approaching Civil War as a Marvel Universe event. Which my usual critical eye of events of, hey, the event needs to actually tell you everything. Don't put important stuff in the tie-ins. And I know Civil War has a ton of tie-ins, so
Dude, I read an issue not that long ago during my reread where I was like, God, there's a whole fucking plot point that happened that is just never explained in the text, and
so you're going to be on my side for this point.
Oh
where
God,
it really becomes detrimental.
It's rough.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
I can't wait for you to tell us this just in the podcast. Be like, okay, so for this, the context is this is what just happened.
Yeah. It's man.
I don't think the allegory works. Also, it's so clear that this is meant to be a lead into Civil War, but Civil War is clearly Mark Millar's baby, and Millar wants to write every aspect of it, even though he physically cannot, because Millar writes what? Just the 7-issue miniseries, right?
Yeah.
The actual event itself, the story.
Yeah. Every good Civil War issue I've read has not been written by Mark Millar.
Weird. It's been a tie-in by a writer.
Whoa.
Another writer, a different writer. I imply Mark Millar isn't a writer. He's a writer. He's just
is he a writer?
I mean, he hasn't. Look, if he yes.
You're a writer, you say? Mm-hmm.
Yes,
yet you have written Marvel Comics Civil War and Old Man Logan. Tell me about this Mark Millar.
Oh right, I forgot that he's
responsible for the bad miniseries of Old Man Logan. Apparently, the ongoing Old Man Logan, the when it became an ongoing series, is actually pretty good, and it's not by Mark Millar. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, so it feels like the ending of the story was co-opted to be a lead into Civil War, and then apparently isn't actually really a lead into Civil War because Millar doesn't care what other writers are doing.
Oddly enough, Execute Program is something that works only when you can. I mean, it works on its own, but Execute Program helps Civil War. But it never gets referenced in Civil War. Only if you're saying oh yeah, if you consider Execute Program like the prelude to Civil War, then that's when it works. But it's not officially the prelude to Civil War because it's never even brought up in Civil War.
It's clear it's because Mark Millar clearly didn't care about what was going on. He wanted to write Civil War, which is annoying. But yeah, Execute Program, I like it more than Extremis, honestly.
That's fair. Yeah,
it's both good. I mean,
I would agree.
I'll say we don't have, unlike, say, the other big Marvel character we've covered this blog with Captain America, we don't have a great, amazing, standout story that's going to become definitive and make me love this character to bits like I did with Steve Rogers in Winter Soldier and Red Menace. Mm-hmm. But we have a solid start.
Yeah, I'll just say there's not a ton of comic Iron Man that I truly love. I'll leave it there for now.
I mean, they could also be you have not read every single thing, so it's possible there is a run.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty out there that I do love. There are Iron Man stories I do love. Of course, Demon in a Bottle is a classic, and I do really like Superior Iron Man by Tom.
I was gonna say, I know you like Tom Taylor's run.
Yeah. Oddly enough, Tony Stark works as a character when he's at his most dickish. And I don't know. For me, that's the case at least. But anyway. Closing thoughts? Anything else to add on Execute Program from the two of you?
I mean, yeah, I guess just like I agree with Jacob mostly. Like I like this more than Extremis. I think that like as a 6th-issue pace, I think that the story works a lot better. I think that the action moments feel more justified and like they feel less like they're here to pad out runtime. I do think that there's less of the like I guess like gratuitous horror that the last one had, but I mean it's a different production team. It's telling a different story. It's portraying different things. So like that's not a big thing. Just like something I noticed reading it, but I really liked it. It does very much confuse me that this wasn't more directly referenced in the actual Civil War event, which at the time of recording I have not read any of. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But just on its own, I like where the story went and I like how it concluded for the most part.
Fair enough. Cool. All right. Let's close things out, my boys. Jacob, what do you got going on? Promotions, anything like that?
On my blog, I have been reviewing some Doctor Who books and some Star Wars books, definitely at the time of this is coming out.
True.
Yeah, as well as Star Trek The Next Generation for the first time, where I am finally out of Season 1, which is a bad season of television.
Unfortunately, that means you just put out your review for the first episode of Season 2, though.
Yeah, The Child, which... We'll see. The one thing I know about this is that this was a reused script from the 70s, so I'm going in with a low bar.
Very true. Very true. Mason, what do you got going on?
I mean, I'll be on the next episode. Like, that's kind of what my online presence is right now. That's basically it, really. I mean, yeah, I'll just be. I'll be on the next episode of this. If any more commentaries come out on the channel, I'll be in those as well. And yeah, hopefully I'll be in more episodes of the podcast going forward. I would love to be on them. So yeah.
Mason only exists when Blood Donut Studios videos come out. After that, he disappears into the ether. He's only there as long as you're aware of his presence. And
yeah,
that is
so I need all of you. I need all of you to think about me constantly because I like existing.
It's true. Otherwise, on the channel, I also do Star Trek reviews with my brother. We are at the same point in Star Trek Next Generation with The Child, our video recently coming out. Also, if you subscribe to our Patreon at the $2 ensign tier, that's the tier, then you can get our next Star Trek video a week early with episode 2 of season 2, which is something
where silence
has least. Thank you, Jacob. That's
I pulled up the episode list because
you knew I was going to do that. You knew that was going to happen.
No, because I didn't know why. I forgot when this was coming out. So I was like, which episode will I have just done? Also, as mentioned previously in this episode, there are changes to the Patreon either coming soon or having just recently happened. It's probably going to be soon at the time that's coming out. So be on the lookout for those things. Lots of fun, lots of fun, exciting things happening there. Also, with my brother, we do our Star Wars show, RTBD. We recently should have put out our episode on Tales of the Underworld, and very soon we'll have our episode out on Andor Season 2. So many Star Wars things coming out right now. We're getting back to books soon, which will be a lot of fun. So be on the lookout for all that. Also, in regards to the podcast, Fresh Face Comics, next time we have Civil War coming up. Also, we have our spinoff, Fresh Face One Shots, where we cover current comics coming out. We cover Superman by Joshua Williamson, Wonder Woman by Tom King, Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, The End of the Long Halloween Saga, as well as The Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone. I think that about does it for the channel. Our link trees, our socials, everything will be down in the description below. You can follow us wherever you want to follow us. Me and Jacob's link trees, Mason's Blue Sky, etc. Wherever you're listening to us on, be it Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, be sure to leave a rating, subscribe, comment on things, and we'll read your stuff out on Fresh Face Correspondence before we get into our spoilers section. Also, subscribe to the channel, Blood Donut Studios, where we host all those previously mentioned videos, as well as YouTube copies of the episode you're listening to right now. I think that about does it. Thank you all so much for watching / listening. Until next time, this has been Joey Morgan and Jacob Licklider
and Mason Peters.
Goodbye.